name's Steve Maher. I'm a physical therapist and founder of Site Solutions. And for the past 12 years, I've been doing ergonomic evaluations and training programs for companies like PG&E, Kaiser, Deloitte Consulting, as well as home offices and just mom and pop stores. So what I'd like to do today is talk to you a little bit about where to put the monitor, because what we see is people are getting bigger and giant, humongous monitors, but then where do you put them? And they find that their necks are hurting either because it's too high or too low, or it just isn't right. It hurts their eyes and they're trying to get away from it. So what I'd like to do is show you how to position the monitor for maximum comfort and productivity. But before I get into that, I'd like to just tell you a little bit about how I got here, how a physical therapist got into ergonomics. And 15 years ago, I was working in an occupational medicine clinic, and I was helping my patients get better, and I'd send them back to work and they'd come right back because nobody is really addressing the root cause of the problem. And the root cause was their workstation wasn't set up. And it wasn't that they didn't have the right equipment. A lot of these people had very expensive chairs, very adjustable stuff, but they had no idea how to put it in the right place. And what I found was there were tons of people out there that just didn't know what to do. They'd get a pamphlet from their insurance company, or they'd talk to their neighbor. We saw a lot of people that got ergonomic keyboards because their neighbor told them that would cure their ills, when in fact it really had nothing to do with their back issue. The keyboard didn't really contribute to their back pain. So there were a lot of well-meaning people, but there was a lot of misinformation out there. So what I'd like to do is give you some good information about how to set up the monitor. And there's really two things that you need to do. You need to set it at the right distance, and you need to set it at the right height. So first we'll talk about distance. Now if you read the literature, those pamphlets that you get, it'll tell you that the monitor should be about 18 to 30 inches in front of you, about an arm's reach, okay? That's pretty easy to do. You just scoot into your workstation, put your hands on the keyboard, put your arm in front of you, reach out, there's the monitor, about an arm's reach away, and I can see everything clearly. Now if I'm the bionic man and I have that eye that can see for miles, this is going to feel way too close. And I'm going to start trying to get away from it, and that's going to change the mechanics of my shoulders and my back. So if that was the case, I would push it away. If I'm Mr. Magoo and I can't see that, what I need to do is bring this closer so it's in a comfortable visual range. And everybody's a little bit different. If you're wearing glasses, that's going to change. If you're doing fine pixel matching, we work with a couple movie studios and they match the pixels on the screen so that when you watch a movie, it doesn't look like the person's, it looks like the person's actually there. And those guys, they'll climb into the screen, they'll get this close. Well, that changes your mechanics. Not only does it strain your eyes a little bit, but it changes the mechanics of your shoulders and your low back. So what we do with those guys is we bring the screen closer so they can stay back here and see without changing their posture. So the rule is about an arm's reach, but it depends on what you're doing, and you should feel free to move it. And one note about moving monitors, this is a flat screen, it's pretty light, pretty easy to move, but the old CRTs were huge, and some of the really big monitors, like some of the Mac monitors that are out there, the computer's embedded in the screen, right? And so it's pretty heavy and it's hard to move. So make sure that before you move the monitor, you can lift it and you use good mechanics to move it, and if you can't move it, get some help. So you certainly don't want to hurt your back or your shoulder trying to bring your monitor 3 inches closer. So get help before you do that. The next thing to think about is is how high the monitor should be. Okay, and that depends on a lot of things. It depends on what you're working on. It depends on your eyesight, whether you're wearing glasses. And in our full training program, we go into the kinesiology and anatomy of working and sitting, and we go through a lot more of that detail. But as a general rule, what you want to do is have the screen, the top third of the screen, about eye level. So you're looking down slightly, because typically there's a frame here, there's a taskbar here, and you're really working in this part of the screen. If I'm sitting here and I'm typing away, I'm going to be looking way up there. So I have to look down, my head will follow my eyes, and my body follows my head, and next thing you know, I'm sitting in this position. So what I want to do is bring that up closer to eye level so that I can look down slightly and see the meat of the screen right in here. So what you do, if a lot of the newer monitors have slides and they come up and down, if not, what you can do is get a ream of paper, slide it right under there. It's 2 inches thick, it's very solid, and then sit here and see how comfortable that is. For me, that's probably still a little bit low, so I might get another one and throw it under there, like this. so that now when I'm sitting here, my eye naturally falls about here and I can see this part of the screen without holding my head up or down. And again, reams of paper are cheap, easy alternatives to some of the more expensive options out there. Sometimes you do need a monitor arm, sometimes you need different things, sometimes you have dual monitors, so there's a lot of other considerations. But as a general rule, you want it about an arm's reach away and you want about the top third of the screen at about eye level. And that's the secret to setting up any monitor to help you work comfortably and efficiently. For more information about how to set up the entire workstation, please check out my other videos. And if you're interested in our training program, check out the videos on that as well. And what we do there is we teach you how to assess a workstation, how to go in and work with an employee to set up not only the chair, but the keyboard and the monitor. We go through the risk factors that we commonly see. We go through the equipment that we commonly recommend as well. And then we teach you how to look at the workstation with an assessment eye, with a physical therapist eye, so that you can help your employees work as comfortably and productively as possible. Thank you.